Hello, I'm Andrew Hurford from Hardwood. We're an integrated forest and timber business operating in northern New South Wales. Today we're at Warrazamba, one of our beautiful properties where we manage private native forests for the production of timber. Hurfords is a real family business. It was started by my grandparents. Their children joined the business. That was my father, my aunt and uncle. And then through the years, my generation, all the kids have worked in the business. Today we have also the next generation, my kids and my nephews and nieces are getting involved in different aspects of the business. Hurfords employ just over 300 people in a broad range of roles. Starting in the forests, we have professional foresters who assist managing our forests and assist other private native forest owners to manage their forests for a good outcome. After the timber comes to the mill, obviously we have specialty people in manufacturing and milling and maintenance and all of those roles to do with manufacturing. And then we have our sales and distribution and marketing team that bring the product to market through our distribution channels. So how we see private native forestry is the sustainable management of forests, maintaining all of the values of the forest, the biodiversity and the animals that live there, and the beauty of the forest, but also managing it to produce a valuable resource.
Private native forestry is managed through an approvals process which comes through local land services and private native forestry officers like myself. So we do a series of due diligence checks and measures, make sure we have the most up-to-date information to pass on to the landholder and any contractors or parties that might be involved in the harvesting of a native forest. This ensures the long-term sustainability of any forestry activity within private property in New South Wales.
For Hardwood, private native forestry makes a critical part of our business. It allows us to source the timber we need for the orders we have when we need them. Private native forestry can be really important for both landholders and the timber industry. For the industry, it forms a unique part of their supply, and they need that relationship with the private native forest owners to be able to continue to supply products on a consistent basis to their customers. In having a knowledge of those properties and our own properties, we're able to work across a range of the landscape depending on the time of the year and weather situations and the species that are likely to grow in those places. So that can be important when we're trying to fill an order for a customer with a particular end use. The species we are able to get from private native forests on the north coast are blackbutt, spotted gum, ironbark, Sydney blue gum and tallowood, among 20 others, but they're the most iconic species, the best known. They're really durable, they're long lasting. We saw the logs into boards, and then the boards go to our value-adding plants like the one at Tuncester, and that's where we kiln dry the timber to make it stable, profile it into its end use, whether that's going to be flooring, decking, cladding, joinery, one of the other many products we produce.
The private native forestry plays a key role in New South Wales's timber industry. Approximately 50% of New South Wales hardwood timber comes from private property, so it's really important that there's that sustainable long-term outlook when it comes to managing the forests themselves, and this only really flows on to long-term stable employment for people within regional towns in New South Wales. Private native forestry plays a key role in providing an extra revenue stream for the landholder or the farming operation. This can be used to offset those problem times where there might be drought affecting the operations, the daily running of the farm, or there's just the simple use of using the timber off the land to redo fencing, stockyards, things like that. So it plays a key role in that respect.
Private native forestry and the timber industry more broadly is recognised as one of the key industries here in New South Wales, and particularly on the north coast. It's recognised for its jobs that it provides in regional towns. To produce timber requires a big support network. We need engineering supplies, we need fuel, we need tyres for our trucks. We have contractors doing the harvesting work. We have contractors doing forest maintenance and farm maintenance work. We have our own employees processing the timber. We have trucks delivering products. So it's wide-reaching and it supports a whole ecosystem of its own. Hurfords employ specialist foresters because it's such a critical part of our supply, and we want to get the management of forests right, and we want to make sure that the forests that we're involved with, whether they're our own or whether we're working with a third party or a farmer, we want to assist them to get the best outcome on their property.
What do you think of that tree up there, Jim?
Yeah, that blue gum there, Andrew. Yep. Yeah, look, it's got some dead branches up there.
Yep.
A good candidate for a habitat tree. As a forester here with Hurfords on the North Coast, I help farmers obtain their private native forest plan through the local land services. The main role there is to determine which areas the farmers want to harvest, and then one of my other roles is to help them do the harvesting as per the code.
Foresters like Jim Rankin here on the North Coast play a key role in, complementing the support offered by private native forestry officers within local land services, and also maintaining those values that are key to upholding the codes of practice across the state. This ensures the long-term viability of our forests and the products within them and the biodiversity values.
So Hurfords work with local land services when we need advice on private native forestry, on any clarification around the code or how to proceed. They're very helpful with property owners and giving them advice. We've found that their advice is reliable. We've got local field officers such as Hugh Cherry in this local area. They've got a wealth of experience and they're well worth talking to.
If you have any questions regarding private native forestry or any other land management activities, don't hesitate to get in touch with your local land services office or come down and see some of our qualified staff who can help you through the processes of achieving your goals for your property.